welcome to momsAWARE Rejuvenating Recipes. My name is Erin Fabry. I'm one of the Fabry clan, and I'm going to teach you some really simple, cozy beverage recipes. When we went gluten-free and sugar-free, we lost a lot of those comfort foods that you crave, especially around the holidays. So I'm going to teach you some healthy alternatives to our favorite holiday drinks. The first one is hot chocolate. Who does not have good memories of hot chocolate? Even though we live in Arizona where we don't have the snowy days that we come in and crave the hot chocolate, I still like it. When I see Santa Claus on the TV, I want some hot chocolate. What I'm going to use instead of regular chocolate is cacao powder. It's from the raw cacao bean. There's no sugar in it. There's no dairy, no wheat or gluten or anything like that. This is what the packaging is going to look like. It's my favorite brand. Instead of saying nibs, it's going to say powder. Nibs you can grind into powder, so if this is all your health food store has, it still works. Very rich in antioxidants. It's got some fiber, but again, none of the refined sugar or any of the bad ingredients like that. What I'm going to do, there are a few ways to make this. One is with the coffee press, so it's almost like a coffee blend that you can make that way. If you want to do it the easy way, this is what I usually do. Add about, for this amount, probably a tablespoon and a half. For a 20 ounce, 2 tablespoons of the powder. Put in the hot water, some spices and stevia, and go. And that's it. You'll have some residue at the bottom that you can just dump out when you're done, but that's what I usually do if I'm in a hurry. This way is going to make the flavor probably the best. So that's the way that I'll teach you. It makes me look a little fancier anyways. So this is about 32 ounces. So we're gonna wanna use maybe 3 tablespoons, kind of heaping like that. And then to add a little bit of holiday flavor, you can add some spices like cloves, maybe just a few. It's not an exact science, just play around and see what you like. Nutmeg, I love some nutmeg. Just a little dash of that. Cinnamon. Cinnamon and chocolate are great together. It just brings out additional flavor. It makes the flavor deeper, richer, and perfect for around the holidays. Like Christmas. So there's your cinnamon. Another thing that sometimes I like to add, I won't this time, this is cayenne pepper. That kind of gives it like a Mayan chocolate flavor. I like to use this just with the chocolate and the cayenne by itself. Again, you can play around, use whatever you like. So those are kind of the warm, fuzzy spices that I've got going on in there. Later on, I'm gonna add stevia. I recommend adding it last. I don't really even know why, but that's what I do. So then we've got the boiling water that I have already boiled in our glass water boiler, which I hadn't seen too many of these. I think we ordered it online, but it's really good for you because it doesn't involve any kind of reactivity with metal or anything like that. So then you're gonna wanna let this sit just like coffee for about 10 minutes to really absorb all of that flavor, and then we'll pour, taste, and see how that comes out. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to do another drink that you probably wouldn't think possible if you're dairy-free, gluten-free, egg-free, soy-free. Coconut milk eggnog. Very simple. Really, we can't really call it eggnog because there are no eggs in it, but it tastes just like it. So what I usually do is pour in some coconut milk. This is organic canned coconut milk. Great for recipes in like Thai food recipes, but you can use it by itself. It's really, really thick. So this is gonna be really rich. You won't want to have too much of it at once. It's a lot, it's thick. However, if you wanted to make it more where you had a serving size of, you know, a glass rather than a tiny little bit, I would recommend making your own coconut milk out of the coconut manna. And basically coconut manna is the meat of the coconut, and you take a blender or a Vitamix and you mix the coconut manna with water, and you can make it whatever consistency you want. There are recipes online for the different ratios of water to the manna, but that's another option. They also sell the coconut milk in the thinner consistency in the cartons in the milk aisle. So many people are going dairy-free nowadays that they've got the soy milk, the coconut milk, and the milk all within a general area. But with that coconut milk, you are going to get some additives and things that you don't necessarily want going through your system. So I do recommend the coconut manna. But let's continue with this. So what I'm going to add again is some spices like nutmeg, yum, 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 cinnamon, and cloves. And I like to mix it all together in a Vitamix. It helps to disperse everything, but for our purposes, we'll just mix it together with a spoon, just to make it look super simple, because it really is. So we'll stir and stir and stir. All right, so we've stirred it up, and you can see that the cinnamon and nutmeg and all that do create little clumps. That's unavoidable if you're stirring like this, but again, if you use a Vitamix, that'll take care of that. I just like to use as few dishes as possible. I don't mind a little clumps. Then what I'll add is some stevia. There are different ways to use stevia. The liquid is my favorite when I'm creating drinks. So liquid and liquid, powder and baking is usually what the rule that I use, but everyone's a little different. They have the flavored stevia. The vanilla cream tastes especially good with this eggnog. The chocolate's gonna taste great with our hot cacao drink. For this amount, I just kind of use, you just have to kind of play around with it. I like things extra sweet. Some people barely like any, and stevia does have a different taste. Some people really can't stand it. So if you wanted to use honey in this, or a different sweetener of choice, then feel free to try that. So now that's really all that you do, so you can taste it. I can taste it, and that's good. I probably used a little bit too much stevia, but it's really, you can taste that nutmeg. That's one of my favorite parts, and it tastes like Christmas. Okay, so now our cacao is ready. We're gonna press and pour and enjoy. And then, I'm lazy, so I don't even like to stir. One easy way around stirring is to add the stevia first if you're using liquid. If you're using powder, you'll definitely want to stir it up. Again, just kind of play around with your level of stevia, depending on the size mug you have, depending on your desired sweetness. And you can see it's pretty rich, kind of creamy, just like how you remember hot chocolate being. That's so good. Really good. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of momsAWARE Rejuvenating Recipes, and we'll see you next time.